I'm Vicky and I'm going to give you a quick tour of the van that my fiance and I have been living in for 6 months. So this is Serenity. She is a Dodge Ram ProMaster and she's been kitted out to be a whole little tiny house. So I wanted to show you just some of the bits and pieces of her. So obviously this part is just like a normal car. We keep things like binoculars and things up in the front here so that we can always look at birds if we need to. This is our first cabinet. It's usually got things like laundry supplies in it. We also keep the window covers for the front up in there. Yeah, we hang things on the back of the chairs here just because it's a van and space is at a premium. So if we're trying to keep something like a suit nice, you have to keep it hung up. There's not really a lot of other places to hang stuff. So this is where our fancy clothes live. Next I'll show you the kitchen area. So this is our fridge and freezer. It's actually surprisingly roomy. We can keep, you know, days worth of food in there for sure, sometimes weeks worth depending on what we're buying. The freezer is a great asset for a road trip. Road trips with ice cream. You'll never go back. This is the sink and stuff. We have running water, just cold water, but we have 2 7-gallon tanks that sit underneath here. One of them is for fresh, clean water, drinkable. The other one is for our gray water. So the great thing about our van is that we don't have any black water. We don't ever have to deal with black water. We just have the gray water, which is things like toothpaste and like food that we scrubbed off of our plates and things like that, and we can get rid of that pretty easily. We keep utensils and things here just because there's only the 2 of us, so we don't need that many forks and knives and things. But also all our cooking utensils live there. Usually this would be where we'd keep our toothbrushes and toothpaste and things like that. Other kitchen stuff, a lot of our kitchen gear lives in these 2 cabinets. So we've got a little tiny pop-up tea kettle, which is great for oatmeal in the morning or for tea or coffee. We also keep our mugs in there, our plates. This is cleanup towels. This is an iron that I keep just for days when I really don't want to look like I live in a van. This is the rest of our kitchen stuff. We have actually quite a lot of space in here. So this is, you know, a fancy dancy popcorn maker. We've got a colander that pops up. We've got a bunch of Pyrex bowls that all have lids, so we use those as Tupperwares. We also use these as Tupperwares. We have a cheese grater. We don't go not gourmet in our van. We live a pretty satisfying life in here. I've got all of my chef's knives up in this area here too. Yeah, so we can basically cook almost anything we want. This area holds some of our bigger stuff, like our little tiny baby microwave. It's just 10 inches tall, fits perfectly into this cabinet. But we also have a big Dutch oven and some frying pans and things in this area too. So when we want to cook, if we're not using the microwave, we can pop up this table here. I don't know if you can get far enough away to see it.
Come back up.
But yeah, we pull out this drawer to support that table, and inside of there are 2 induction cooktops. So they're actually really nice. They're pretty high end. A lot of professional chefs will say if they have to pick between different types of cooking surfaces, after gas, induction cooktops are the next best thing. We found these really great. They heat up water really fast. They're able to, you know, cook a really good egg. Grilled cheeses in national parks has been one of our favorite things. So we've got 2 of them. We usually only use one at a time because it's a van. We make kind of one pot meals a lot of the time, but we can go really quite gourmet with this if we want. Slides away. The other thing I want to show you about food is that, well, first of all, here's the spice rack. I don't travel anywhere without quite a number of spices. So this is just kind of the stuff that I use most frequently. We also have, we built these ourselves and we're very proud of them, these slide out drawers that are full of all kinds of snacks. They're also soft close, and they have these little buttons to keep them closed while we're driving, so they're not going to just fly open. I don't actually know what's in here right now, but
yeah, a lot of our food is out of the van right now because we've been in a house.
We've been living in a house. But yep, they just slide closed so nicely, and we're so proud of them. Other stuff, that's kind of, I feel like a lot of what I spend my time doing. David actually is working, So he spends a lot of his time actually doing work. So either we go out, we find a public library or a coffee shop or something like that, or he can actually pop open this standing desk. And this is where sometimes he'll work. We have all of our electrical information is right here. So this thing shows how our battery's doing. We're getting, what, 600 watts of solar from the top of the van. It just lives up on the roof, kind of passively collects our electricity for us. And then the battery, once it's full, can run us for, you know, video games and cooking and lights and refrigerator and the fan for, you know, all night. If we need to, we can also charge this off of the battery-to-battery charger. So while we're driving, we can charge things. Yeah, so we've got lots of great outlets, lots of power sources all around the van. So actually we've got, you know, phone chargers that plug into the outlets over here. We've got more outlets down on the floor there. We've got outlets that pop out from the top of the fridge. These are really convenient some of the time. And then all of the LED lights that are all run off of our solar power as well as the fridge and our water pump. So yeah, a lot of electricity, a lot of electrical stuff going on here, plus this external monitor that pops out. I don't know if I want to pop it out right now, but this pops out, and there's a laptop stand too. So if you're working from inside the van, or even if you just want to use this thing to play video games on, we've hooked up a PS4 to this thing, we've hooked up a Switch to this thing. It's a great way to be able to see our games bigger, and when we're lying in bed, we can actually just see the whole thing up in front of us. So that's that cabinet. Other stuff, quick tour of the other cabinets. These two are kitchen stuff. This one's kind of our fun things cabinet, so it's stuff like my camera gear and my art supplies and another pair of binoculars, because I don't know if you can tell, but I like to look at birds and the other things that are far away. We also keep our toiletries in here, for the most part when we are showering or when we are, you know, working out or whatever. We have a gym membership to a nationwide gym. There's one in almost every city that we've been to. I think every city actually that we travel to. So we can just pop in there 24 hours a day, do our workout, take our showers. We just bring a little shower kit with us, and it's really easy. Yeah, so that's the fun stuff. These two would be David's clothes, and these two, if we were living currently in the van, would be my clothes. But since I needed them all, they're inside. But, you know, quite roomy cabinets. We liked to use packing cubes in here just to keep things a little bit more organized. Nothing ever falls out of these, but you know, just so that I always know where all of my socks are. Yeah, what else? This area right here turns into our bed, so you know, during the day it can be a table. This can be a great workspace if you're working in here. It can also be, you know, your crafting table or your hosting space if you're hanging out with friends. During the pandemic, we've actually been using this a little bit as a mobile dining room. So since we were missing French fries and they really don't travel well as takeout, we brought this to an In-N-Out Burger, parked it in the parking lot, sent another car through the drive-thru, and then everybody gathered up in this area to actually eat our French fries hot out of the fryer, which was really fun. It's a great, very civilized way to have funny takeout meals. So this area does turn into a bed. If we want to, we can pop this side open. It's got little things that hold it steady. We would close the back side, lower this whole table down, and then these cushions on either side actually become the cushions for our bed. They become the mattress. We put a foam pad on top of that, we put a comforter, you know, sheets and things on top of that, and then our comforter. And then our pillows are actually hidden very neatly inside of these pillowcases. So when we want to go to sleep, we can just convert that into our bed. I think that's a lot of kind of the features on the inside here. We also have this big fan up top, important to keep airflow going through the van. So we've got this, we've got windows in the back that open. And then let's pop around back. All right, so this is the back of the van. These doors are actually super great when we are traveling, just because if you've got a beautiful view out the back of the van, they open up all the way, so you can actually have this great unimpeded view of, you know, the Guadalupe Mountains or the cactus gardens in Joshua Tree or something like that. We also have these really cool magnetic window covers that my mom made for us They have this beautiful batik fabric on the inside, they're black on the outside. So we use them as blackout curtains. When you put them up on the windows, it's really private inside the van. So you can actually block out basically all light from outside, and people outside can't see in. They actually don't even usually know that we're in there. They're magnetic, so they just pop right on the window. The rest of kind of the back of the van here, we've got this nice bug screen that helps keeps the bugs out of where we sleep. And then we've got a couple of cabinets. This one actually just reaches into the same cabinet that we keep all of our extra towels and our sheets and our pillows and things like that under this bench, which lifts up from the inside. So you can access this one from inside. We've also got this cabinet, which isn't super deep, but holds a surprising amount of really useful stuff. Extra cleanup towels, super glue. We've got our toolkit in here. We've also got some hoses, a couple of wrenches. We've got a big extension cord in there. It's a very useful cabinet. And then this one over here is actually the compartment where the battery lives. So the battery takes up a lot of that space in there, but we also have space for 2 camp chairs, a bucket, our vacuum cleaner, more tape and glue and things like that. This here is called a Wii Boost, which I believe is an antenna that helps us to get better cell signal in the van.
You can see that antenna over there, that little white guy sticking up on top. And there's the solar as well on top of the van.
So the last thing we wanted to show you was actually the toilet situation in the van. We know this is something that can make people a little bit squeamish, but it's actually not nearly, it's really not that bad. In our van, we have a Nature's Head composting toilet, which is this delightful contraption right here. It's got 2 parts to it. So the front part is for liquids, the back part is for solids. The back part composts down into dirt really fast, and the front part you just empty anywhere that you might use the restroom in kind of a less van life kind of a situation. Yeah, we've got plenty of space in there for some extra cleaning stuff. We keep a stash of toilet paper, and it's really actually, it's quite nice. We were worried when we were thinking about this whole van life thing about black water and how to dispose of that, because I think bigger RVs, a lot of RVs have a black water tank, which you have to worry about cleaning and you have to worry about emptying, and it can get really gross. We don't keep any biohazards in a way that we think are going to actually be really problematic. So this doesn't really smell like anything at all, maybe a little bit like fresh dirt occasionally, like planting, like gardening soil. We have a little bit of essential oil vinegar spray that we use just to keep everything sort of clean in there, and every once in a while I just give it a quick wipe down with that vinegar spray, and that's all. It's really quite low maintenance. This is a small living space, so you know, we do sometimes just use this door as a barrier in between whoever's in the back and whoever's using the bathroom here, but that's it. I think that's pretty much everything. Everything that you need, but nothing that you don't in this little space here. So, this is Serenity the van.